A spot of bother. It was the last day of term, and Sarah and James were on their way to school. "Hurry up, Norman," called James. "It's the best day of term, remember?" "Not for me," mumbled Norman. "I've got to do the spelling test again." "Hello, you two. Waiting for Norman as usual," said Fireman Sam, who had come for his newspaper. "How about a treat for break time?" "Oh, yes, please, Uncle Sam," the twins replied. "Well, I never," said Dilys. "There's a chickenpox epidemic in Pontypandy Valley. Newspaper for you, Fireman Sam." She folded up the paper she had been reading and handed it over. "Oh, thanks," said Fireman Sam. "I'll have two of those chocolate bars for Sarah and James as well, please." "Where's Norman?" asked Sarah. "He was here a moment ago. Won't be long, just learning my spelling," Norman shouted from upstairs. "Mom, I've got spots," cried Norman, racing downstairs. "Oh, my poor darling," cried Dilys. "It's that chicken pox. I knew it. He's so sensitive. Look at all those spots." "Don't worry, Mum. I'll go to bed after school," Norman coughed feebly. "You go upstairs right this minute," ordered Dilys. "We'd better go before we all catch chicken pox too," shrugged James, looking at his watch. "Hope you feel better soon, Norman," called Fireman Sam as they all left the shop. Up at the fire station, Elvis was giving Trevor his breakfast. "Why don't you try some muesli, Trevor?" asked Penny. "It's much healthier." "Thanks, Penny, but my appetite's healthy already," said Trevor, tucking into bacon and eggs. "Right, here are the duties for today," said Station Officer Steele. "Fireman Sam, you're on call. Firefighter Morris, check food supplies. Cridlington and Evans, timed jogging, and no excuses." "But, sir, lunch is going into the oven. It'll burn," Elvis pleaded. Meanwhile, as soon as Dilys was busy, Norman leapt out of bed and wiped his spots off with a tissue. "I'm not wasting the day indoors," he said. He'd reached Pandy Lane when he saw two figures in the distance. They gave him an idea. "That's odd," said Elvis, looking at the road sign and frowning. "I thought Pontypandy was that way." Me too," Trevor agreed, scratching his head. Norman giggled as Trevor and Elvis took the wrong turning. "Let's stop here and wait for a bus," Elvis suggested when they came to a bus stop. "It'll be a long wait, Elvis. I'm the bus driver, remember," said Trevor, "but we may as well have a rest." They sat down and fell asleep. "Now for some real fun," Norman whispered, being careful not to wake them. He drew red spots on the sleeping firemen's faces. "Glad I spotted you, hee hee," he giggled to himself. When Elvis and Trevor didn't come back, Fireman Sam and Station Officer Steele went to look for them. "There they are, sir," said Fireman Sam. "Miles off course," muttered Station Officer Steele. "Who ever heard of a bus driver with no sense of direction?" "Sir, they're covered in spots," said Fireman Sam. "In that case, they'll have to walk home. We can't risk infecting the whole force," Station Officer Steele said briskly. Suddenly, the alarm in Jupiter's cab sounded. "Good heavens! There's a fire at the fire station," said Station Officer Steele, talking to Penny on the radio. "We need all hands to the pump on this one, spots or not." With the siren blaring and the lights flashing, they raced through Pontypandy. "Mamma mia! It's the fire station, it's burning down!" exclaimed Bella, pointing at the cloud of smoke. "Oh, help! It's the gas cooker!" said Elvis, going pale as he saw smoke pouring from the kitchen window. "I thought jogging was a bad idea. First chicken pox and now this," said Trevor. "Never again." "Well, don't just stand there, get the hose," said Station Officer Steele. "I'll switch off the gas at the mains first," said Firefighter Penny Morris. Fireman Sam and Fireman Elvis Cridlington put on their air supply masks and picked up the hose. Kicking open the door, they charged into the smoke-filled kitchen. "Stand by to help, this one looks serious," Fireman Sam reported back over the radio. "How's it going, Fireman Sam?" asked Station Officer Steele a few minutes later. "Send reinforcements," came the reply. "In you go, Firefighter Morris," ordered Station Officer Steele. Penny grabbed a fire extinguisher and went inside. Inside the kitchen, the three of them soaked the cooker in a flood of water. "Coming under control at last, sir," said Fireman Sam as the flames died down, leaving the scorched cooker smouldering. "Well, I won't be cooking on that for a bit, I suppose," said Elvis, wiping his face. "Phew, it's hot in here." "Some good news anyway," grinned Fireman Sam. "Elvis, wipe your face again." "Oh!" exclaimed Elvis. "Chicken pox all over my fingers." Later that day, Fireman Sam was in Dilys's shop when Norman came skipping in. "I'm better now, Mum," he said cheerfully. "Norman Price, you get back into bed at once with all those spots," said Dillys. "You won't wipe those off so easily, my boy," laughed Fireman Sam as Norman scrubbed frantically at his face. "And Mrs. Williams says you can do the spelling test next term," said James. "Mom," moaned Norman, "I feel ill."